let's tell me a little bit about yourself, your education, your experience, accomplishments.
Okay. I'm Jim Capobianco, and I'm a writer-director of animation now. And I went to school at Cal Arts, California Institute of the Arts. My class was the first class Joe Ranft taught story in. And my classmates were Pete Docter, Ash Brannon, Chris Ure, Mark Kennedy. It was a really good group of animators who've gone on to do some great stuff. And so I was at Cal Arts, and then I went on to Disney Animation. It was my first feature, was Lion King.
Wow.
To storyboard on, and from there I was at Disney for 5 years, and then my contract was up, and I had Joe Ranft was still working between Pixar at that time and Disney, and Joe I saw at the Pocahontas wrap party. He had been working because he had some deal where he worked at both studios, so he had been consulting on the Tin Soldier on the Fantasia project, and I had storyboarded the Tin Soldier sequence. He saw my storyboards, and he told me at the Pocahontas wrap party, he's like, "Hey, if you ever think of Pixar, why don't you come up?" And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds cool," because they had made Toy Story that previous year, and I was just blown away by the storytelling. So I called up Joe that Monday, and I said, "Well, hey, you know what you're talking about at the party?" And then he said, "Oh, well, how much longer do you have on your contract?" I said, "Oh, it's one more year." He said, "Well, I can't poach you, so in a year, give me a call." So pretty much a year to the day, I called him, and when he answered the phone, he was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you called me. I'm flying you up here next week." And so it turned out a story artist named Joe Ranft, who also is a Danish rock star, told Joe he had to go back, he had to leave being a storyboard artist and go back to being a rock star. And they were in the story crunch on Bug's Life. So I called at the right moment, and he flew me up that week and next week, and he hired me on the spot with Andrew Stanton. They both hired me right away. And then that beginning of that next year, I was up there storyboarding at Pixar. And I stayed at Pixar for 19 years, and storyboarded on, from Bug's Life all the way up to, a few movies I didn't work on, but all the way to Finding Dory and Coco. But in between that time, I wrote on Ratatouille. I was the head of story on Ratatouille, and talked to Jan Pinkova, the original director, who had a very unique vision for this film. This crazy oddball film about a rat cooking in Paris. And I said to him, "Jan, you're the only one who understands this movie and the way you want to tell it. I think we should write the script." And he was like, "Really? You think so? I've never written before." I'm like, "Well, neither have I. Let's give it a go." So we jumped in and wrote the script, the first draft of it, and then and I ran the story department for 5 years on the film, and that's when Brad Bird came in, and then he kind of wrapped it up and turned it into the film it is. So it's an interesting project to me because none of us, the three of us, Jan, myself, and Brad, would have never made that movie that it turned out to be. It just was definitely a collaboration of all these voices, and then obviously to the story team. So I think that credit the nomination we got for the Oscar was the right kind of grouping for that.
How did you get on to do the short?
Yeah, You're from the Rat. So after we finished Ratatouille, or as they were finishing up Ratatouille, they needed shorts for the DVD. So the call went out for ideas, and I had this idea. Well, what if you could do, from all the research, I thought, well, what if we did kind of an edutainment type short? I love the Ward Kimball Man in Space shorts, and the design of those, and the humor in them. And so I really wanted to do something like that. So I just pitched that idea, and Brad Bird Bird was, running the show at that time. I knew Brad would kind of be keen on that. So I was thinking, well, maybe it has a shot if, Brad might like that. They had no ideas for the DVD, and they were really scrambling. So I went in to meet with Brad, and he basically was like, so you're going to save our ass on the DVD. And I was like, I guess so. I don't know. So at that point, yeah, he was like, yeah, we're going to make this. This will be great. And
I remember you telling me quite a few years ago now that you had no problem getting people to come on board to
that's
do
true,
that.
yeah. Because it was the first time we would do 2D animation at Pixar. And I think the sensibility of the short too. I remember we screened it for the animators, just to show them what it would be and to get them interested. So screened it, and the excitement that just ran through the animation department. They were just like, "Wait, what? We're gonna make this? No way! Oh my gosh!" And they were just a line out the door of the Susan Tetsuno, who would sends people where they should go. And they were, everybody was scrambling to get on the short, so it was pretty exciting for me.
Yeah, it must have felt really good.
It did. It felt really good. You felt like, wow, I really have something here that is going to be fun, and everybody seems to want to do
Who
it.
wrote the song for that?
So the song, well, all the music, the score was all written by Alex Mandel, who would go on to work with me for The Inventor. The song, though, was written by a good friend of mine, James Dash, who was a really excellent piano player and would write these little songs and stuff. So I just said, hey, James, let's write a song for this. I think it should have a song in it. And so he and I worked on the lyrics. He wrote the song. So I don't know, Alex, I feel, has always been like, why didn't you have me write the song? But he did all the music, all the scoring, and he did an excellent job. And then I think I paid him back by The Inventor and having him write the songs in that. And I'm working on a children's book, like a chapter book right now. And that's been fun because it's a totally different form of writing. And so that, in a way, that's kind of my, extracurricular activity. But, just being with my family and doing things with them and getting out there, doing various stuff like that.